Hi, this is John Stone, and this is my final project for CS7455, the Mobile Application course with Dr. Dan Lowe. This project is split into two major parts. The first one is setting up the PLab configuration and performing a SQL injection attack with my mobile device. The second part of the project is taking two mobile devices and creating a man-in-the-middle attack situation. So let's start off with part one, which is setting up the PLab configuration. So the first thing I had to do with my device, which is this Nexus 9 on the bottom here, is actually root the device. This was actually kind of tough for me. I tried different things and it didn't work until I basically went to developer options and had to OEM unlock the device. And then I actually installed CyanogenMod, the recovery tool, and then re-imaged it with one of their images. And at that point, it gave me access to this option here, which is the root access I needed for the lab. So that allows me here, as you can see, to give root access to apps in the ADB. So that's rooting the device. The second part of this project was reverse tethering. So that used the software provided by the lab, the PLab, called Android Reverse Tethering. You can see that here on my PC, and then there's a mobile app side to it, and that's called USB Tunnel. So you can see here on the reverse tunneling app, you can see my Nexus 9 device actually here in the drop-down box. So if I choose that and then connect, there's a window that popped up outside of the screen, but I'll move it here in a second. But you can see, here it is right here. So you can actually see it's running through it. And also on here, you can see I have access to things like IP tables, which giving root access to this machine allowed me to access these things. And you can see it going through here, setting up the connection, that sort of thing. So the next part of the project was actually this XAMPP software, which allows you to run Apache and MySQL. So that was pretty straightforward. You just download it and run it. The second part of this was actually setting up Multi-Day, the software for that. That involved extracting it. And then as you see here, this is actually me running it locally here. After that, we actually want to perform a SQL injection attack from the mobile device. So if I just open up the browser here and close this here, zoom out, and if I go to login here, you can see that, right? And basically put in the attack, which is tick space or 1 equals 1 space dash dash space. That last space trips me up, but if you click login, you can see user authenticated. And then if you look at the right up here, you'll see the admin user was authenticated just with the SQL injection attack. So now that we've set up the PLab, the next thing we want to do is talk about the man-in-the-middle attack. I have two mobile apps that I created. One I call the client, and the other one I call the proxy. The client I'm emulating here in the Android emulator, and then the actual proxy I'm putting on the real device. So the client, the way it works is it pulls up the website, which you can interact with it just like normal. It's a web view, so you can do whatever you want to do. But I also have this ability here to switch to using a proxy. So when I do that, it's actually going to go through my Nexus 9, and then my Nexus 9 is going to do a bunch of other things. Pay attention to, see how the background of this is like a blue-purple? Same with over here. And it has the word OWASP everywhere. OWASP everywhere. And then pay attention to this down here. You'll see a cookie appear here in a second. So let's do this. So I'm going to switch over to using the proxy. If you look, an anonymous user just popped up, and you can see its PHP session ID there too. But if you also notice here, I'm editing the responses from the server, and I changed the background colors to red, and also everywhere where it said OWASP, it now says proxy. So that's annotating the response up here. And then this matches the other requirement, which is to actually grab the cookie, which is what we've done here. And I've also made it to where if you click on these, this is just a demo cookie here, a blank one. You can see I can see the site. And then if I click here, I actually can see the user I just grabbed, but it's not that interesting, right? Because I haven't actually logged in as them. So let me go ahead and log in as somebody. So I'll do John, because that's my name, John Stone. And he has a very hard password, which is called password. So let me log in here. And look, now we actually have his username and we have his user ID. So if I click him, you can now see up here, the logged in user is actually John. We can even open another page, which is over here, to the same proxy if we wanted to, and then log in as somebody else like Bobby, who also has an easy password. And then watch here as it shows up in real time. As soon as I log in, I can now click Bobby, and I'm also logged in as him. So this is the man-in-the-middle attack. It was a great course. I learned a whole bunch. Thank you, Dr. Dan Lowe. Have a good summer.